to another episode of
Mac
And me.
Hi, I'm Michael Allen Craig, and this is my assistant Vivian.
Hello.
Today we're featuring Falkner's Merlot. It just won Average Joe's wine tasting contest. This wine has great flavors of black cherry, goes well with pork, veal, or lamb. You can find it at Falkner's signature restaurant Pinnacle, which is located on top of their hill, which overlooks the entire Temecula vineyards. I highly recommend this wine. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to clean, French, and cook a rack of lamb. So the first thing you want to do with the rack of lamb is find the fat. Now you're going to find it right above the eye. This is the eye where the meat is, and this is where the fat starts. So you're going to take your knife and go along the eye where all the fat is. Just going to make one straight line, and then you're going to go up from the bones as far down as you can to get all this meat off. So this we don't use. This is just fat. Next, we're going to clean the rest of the meat off the bones. And this way, you just slide your knife along the side of the bone until you hit the side, both sides. And then you're going to cross it and come up the other side. So one more time, along the bone, on both sides. Go along the back. Very easy. So I don't like my rack of lamb too fatty, so I like to take this fat back off. And this, all you need to do is peel away. Just make sure you don't take too much with it. As you can see, it comes out very easy. So now we have just a little bit of fat on there. Next, we're going to French it. For this one, I'm going to use a different knife. This is a little bit more dull. As you can see, it doesn't even cut me. It's very dull. And I use this knife because if it's too sharp of a knife, it'll stick to the bone when I'm scraping it. So right now, all you're doing is scraping the bone. So you go along all the sides, and the object is to get as much of this fat off as possible. And a nice trick to do, at the end, you can get a damp cloth and you can slide it along the bone. And it really makes the bone very nice and polished. So I'm going to finish the rest of these and we'll get right back to you. So now we have our rack of lamb all nice and cleaned. Bones are all Frenched, very clean. So now we're going to saute just the outside, and then we're going to cool it down, add a little bit of Dijon, and then we're going to add our cilantro crust to it. And you can see the recipe for this cilantro crust in another episode. So now I'm going to saute the rack of lamb. I have a little bit of oil here. You just want to get the outside just seared a little bit. You don't want to cook it too much. Now, if you don't have hands that can handle the heat, you can use tongs in this too. Because I understand that not everybody likes hot oil splashing up at them. So that's enough. As you can see, I just sauteed the outside of it, so it's just nice and seared. So now we're going to let this sit and rest for a little bit, just to cool down, and then we're going to add some Dijon to it. So now we have our rack of lamb. It's seared, it's cleaned. Now we're going to add the Dijon to it so we can put the rub on it. Now I just use a nice little brush that I have here. Put a little bit of Dijon. And you don't want to coat it too heavily, but you want to put enough where the coating will hold the crust. And I just put it on all the outside. So now that we have our Dijon on our rack of lamb, we're going to get some of our cilantro crust and we're going to put it on. Now you can just pat this on here and shake off any excess. As you can see, it's holding very nicely because of our Dijon. And it's going to make the rack of lamb beautiful when we take it out of the oven. Now you're going to want to cook this until it's about 140 degrees inside. That's going to be medium rare. And you're going to have your oven at 375. So now that our rack of lamb is nice and crusted, we're going to put it on a rack on a sheet tray. Now we put it on a rack so the juices will drop to the bottom instead of keeping on the rack of lamb and taking off the coating. So we're going to go put it in our oven. So now we're going to check the lamb to see if it's done. The easiest way that I find is to get just a regular thermometer. You're going to stick it in the side, about halfway. That's going to give you a nice medium rare, medium piece after it finished resting. Now resting is when you pull it out and you're going to just set it aside so when you do cut it, the juices don't come out. By resting it, you're going to have the juices stay in and it's going to be a much juicier piece of meat. So we're going to take this out and let it rest. So now that we've let the lamb chop rest for about 10 minutes, you can even go less, about 5 to 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right in the middle of each one, and that will give me a nice even cut. So as you can see, this is a nice medium rare, and that's going to go great on our dish. So now for the plate up process. First, we're going to get our yam puree. This recipe can be found on another episode. What you're going to do is put a nice dollop on 2 corners. And then you're going to take your spoon and run it from side to side. Next, we're going to get our arugula. Just a small handful. And get a little bit of lemon oil and put it on top with a little bit of salt and pepper. So we're going to toss this. And inside the bowl you kind of want to mold it so you get a nice round shape out of it. And then you're going to put that right in the middle of your plate. Next, you're going to grab your lamb chops. Now what I did here is I wanted to make them all stand up. So to do this easier, I added a little bit of a lemon peel to it. So that's holding it down at the bottom. And you can just take them, spread them out a little bit, put them on top of your arugula salad, and there you have a beautiful dish. So thanks for tuning in, and cheers, bon appetit.